Is a day. Yes, it is the day. This is the day. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. There is something I want to share with you today, and it begins with truth. The message that I want to deliver to you is a message that I've been trying to deliver for quite some time. And if you ask me, I've delivered it. The complication, the problem has been that it was not with the kind of clarity that you, the people, need in order to embrace. And so I've been coming back day after day for the past 40 years. Today my message is about excuse me, no fear. And I want to speak to the people of the world. I'm speaking to you, the people of the world, because it is you that represent God. And I speak to you of a God because I know that there is a God, and I'm not going to try to ignore that or deny it for anyone. It is by the power of that God that I exist. And it is because of the love from that God that I'm here before you to share with you what's really going on. Mankind is made to be master of all living things. Mankind had dominion over all life. I don't think you got what I just said. Let me repeat it. Mankind is to be master of all living things. Mankind had and is to have dominion over all other life forms because man had no fear of anything. Ain't that something? No living form was to be threatened by humans. That was a mouthful. Contemplate that when you get a chance. Humans' honor and loyalty to life is reflected in how humans treat one another. This is also an expression of knowledge and loyalty to God. On earth, humans have the ability to live as if they are in heaven. Wherever their needs, their wants and desires are met at their, let me tell you, at their leisure, expressing peace and prosperity and freedom, joy and happiness, and living of dreams. This is to you, the people. You never heard this. Suffering for nothing. You, the people, under this plan. Nothing that could be produced. Everyone playing a role in the success of heaven on earth. Doing what they do best and appreciated for being who they are, what they are, and thankful for the role that they play in the heaven that we all experience. And it is a choice by the people. I've just mentioned to you, ladies and gentlemen, that there's a way of life that we can live on this earth where every last one of our needs, our desires, and our wants can be met. We don't have to have any fears. We don't have to suffer for anything that we, the people, desire that we can make. Because the resources, and if we desire the inspiration is available. On earth, humans can choose to live other ways. Wow. Humans can choose to live other ways. Each will have the same outcome. A state of hell. The only escape is the choice of heavenliness, the kind I just got through speaking of. Living this way is not about your basic human rights. In fact, your rights will be usurped and dictated by others. You will be and are slaves for the benefit of others, whether you know it or not. There will be and is haves and have-nots, slaves and masters. The masters having controlled the masses through fear. Through fear. Control the masses through fear. The resources that came with the earth have been taken as the property of others. True partners are now having to do whatever jobs are required to get money to live, which is very complicated because the system is made up of lies and cheating. It's also made of money for work, stealing and hating and killing, racism and terror and war. These, ladies and gentlemen of the world, whether you're in a democracy, whether you're in a communist, a socialist, or a dictatorship, what I've just finished describing are the descriptions of hell. And all of them are taking place in every country. Every country, my friends. Every state. Every city. This is the evidence of hell. I speak to you constantly. I say this is hell, and I'm just sharing with you the evidence that this is hell. The people living in this hell are serving time. We all of us are serving time. This includes our intelligentsia, our legals and laws, our social and economies, our entertainers, our religion and our spiritual orders, and this understanding. All of it is operational here in hell, permitted. Why is it permitted? Because everyone is asleep. It is permitted because everyone is asleep. You listening to me today are asleep. All the people of the world today who are listening to me, whether you're listening to me today, tomorrow, whenever you hear this video, you are in this world and you are living in hell, and you do not know it because you are asleep. You've been trained, indoctrinated in this deep sleep ever since you've been on this earth. To wake up is to flip a light onto this darkness, consistent with the heavenly approval and that approach. Change takes place in the people. An expression takes place outwardly, and it is received or rejected. The changed individual will cause change on this hell or be released. Humans know this, but absent more truth, they sell out, telling themselves God will forgive, but there is nothing to forgive. The people, you, all of us, are living our hell now. And we have never, ever experienced heaven. We are under oppression. To give you an example, many of us know something about the history of the Native Americans. We know that supposedly they were living in a space having their lives uninterrupted. Something came along and interrupted their lives, another group of people from another place. welcomed by the people at the home, at their own home. They welcomed these people, of foreign people, foreign ways of doing things. And they came into this community. And to make a long story short, at the end of the day, all of the people with backbones, what you would call men and women who would stand up for truth, who stood up for truth, they were released. They were sent home. What does that mean? They were killed. By who? By the visitor. By the stranger that came and you welcomed. And what else happened? Well, there were those amongst the natives who were not that bold, who could not be a warrior. And so what they did, they submitted. They dropped their heads. I want to say with their tails between their legs, but that just seems to be too cold. So I'm going to stop at they dropped their heads under the force of guns and submitted to the terms that the oppressor, the visitor, the thief put them under. And they've been there ever since. This is what happened in the world. We've all been subjected to one that would do that kind of stuff to us. And by us not knowing, and there are those of us who do not know, the ones that know are blessed. Every warrior that stood with the Indians that were killed are happy today. Every black person that jumped off a slave ship and drowned in the ocean are happy today. And all of the rest of us are victims of those who are weak. And we've been under that oppression until today. And so this is why I stand here, because God loves you still. All of us who have been weak, all of us who have been victims, to say in order to live, we must have no fear. You have heard it said that the road to destruction has a big wide gate. Oh, and it's broad, the road is. And many people there be that travel that road. They might be people of a denomination, when I say of a political party. They might be Democrats. They might be Republicans. They might just be political people, or they might be living under dictatorships. They might be all of that. Or they might be a church. And it leads to destruction. But the path that leads to life is straight and narrow. What does that mean? That means it's an individual thing. You can't say we thought. That's not going to be an excuse for heaven. And so when I stand here and talk to you today, I talk to you about what I know. I don't stand here and preach to you about some stuff I read. I might tell you some stuff I read, might tell you what it meant, but I'm not going to preach to you nothing but what I know, because there's only one man that I know that has a relationship with God, and that's me. That doesn't mean that others haven't. That doesn't mean it at all. It means I might believe they do, or who am I to judge them? But I do know one, and that's me. And what they have said, if it's in relationship to the truth that God has shared with me, I've got no problem. I'm embracing it like a child at a piece of candy. But if it's filth, I'm denouncing it like a big pile of... Well, I better watch it. One other thing I want to tell you about this people called love thing. We lived in a world where everybody talks about love. I want to tell you that when it comes down to a man, there are only two kinds of women that a man loves. First is his mama and his daughter. There are only two kinds of men that a woman loves. And that's her dad and her sons. And that stuff between man and wife, or husband and wife, is nothing but a contract. It might mean that you'll stay together, and it might mean you won't. That tie can break anytime. But a tie between you and your mother is forever. A tie between you and your father is forever. A tie between you and your daughter is forever. Your tie between you and your son is forever. And a tie between the spirit of life, which is that which gives you the ability to listen, as I have the ability to speak, is a power source that is not controlled by us. It is utilized by us, but it is given by the spirit of life, God Almighty. So what I'm saying to you today is, if you want to live, You're going to have to stand up as an individual and be righteous. What I mean by be righteous, do those things, ascribe to those things that gives life, peace, prosperity, freedom, and joy, answering your needs, your wants, and your desires. And yes, there are things specific to you, the individual. What you call that stuff? My desires. Yes, and you're entitled to them. They call them personals. And this world is designed to meet your personal desires and ambition, but only if it does not infringe upon the rights and privileges of others. Then you cool. Now I stand here and tell you this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. If you had any kind of smarts, you would laugh when the next time you turn the TV on and see Donald Trump standing before you. If you had any kind of smarts, divine smarts, you would laugh when you hear Joe Biden talking to you about that little weak stuff. If you were led by any kind of God spirit, you will not sit back here and watch Putin killing all these people, that big demonic monster. But this is where that demonic monster is supposed to live, right here in this hell. And we think we're not connected to that because it's happening over there. My friends, everything that happens down here, we are all connected. We are all connected. We are one family here on this earth, scattered all abroad to learn how to live, to learn the truth with your smart self. Woo! Is there anything else I want to say? Well, all I can say is that the power of life, my friends, is in your hands, not in another. You might say they did it. No, they did, because you didn't have to submit. But you did. And that's why we are all in hell, lying to ourselves like we got all that going on, and we are nothing but on that big old broad road headed to a wide gate to destruction. But you just heard me tell you that. So that means you got the opportunity to get straight and get on that narrow. And I tell you what, you will be happy, because what other people are saying doesn't matter as long as it brings no pain and suffering. It's all right.